Halo, nama saya Paula Nikita. Sekarang saya tinggal di Australia, working under Pierrick Boyer. Saya akan berangkat ke France untuk the first edition of Viennoiserie World Cup. I'm from Indonesia originally. I grew up in a small town not too far away from the capital city, Jakarta. I moved to Melbourne for almost 8 years now. I think it was a Christmas party, and one of the friends brought up like a box of pastry from a local bakery. It was really warm. The feeling that everyone just so happy, seeing the dessert that come up, everything. I think at that time I was actually amazed because in Indonesia you don't find like Viennoiserie. So it was just really different. And then I was really intrigued with like French pastry, like macarons, croissants, and everything like that. And then I just kind of learned by myself, like following recipes that I could find. And then it just never turned out as good because like I don't have the basic knowledge of it. But really fun to try, to learn more about it as well. So at that time, I was just doing like baking for fun. And then I also love doing arts. So I did end up doing graphic design instead of actually going to pastry school. I moved to Singapore and then I learned graphic design. So I was working for about 6 months in a office job and I just knew it wasn't for me sitting down 9 to 5. I need to do something with my hand. And then I've decided to move to Australia because at that time I was just thinking Australia is not too far from Singapore. And I want to still know what's out there for me. And then I moved here and then I actually fell in love with Australia. I love the culture here, like the brunch and coffee, pastry, like the livelihood, everything. There's so many things to do here, so much culture in a way because there's so many people from different countries here. And then I kind of thinking, okay, what do I actually love and passionate about? Finally, pastry school come up to my mind. And then I'm just like, okay, this is the right time. I can't just wait. It will never happen. And then during that time, actually, really lucky. I got a chance to do my placement in Western Hotel Melbourne. And then I worked in a small little bakery in Hawthorne. And then with all the support around the neighborhood, actually sparked my creativity even more. And then after that, I got a chance to meet Pierre. And then I started working here in Reverie. And I learned so much from here, not just croissant. I learned a lot of things like cakes and sweets too. In a way, it kind of gave me comfort to know that I am actually doing something that I finally feel like fulfilling me. Because again, like what I was saying earlier, growing up, I don't know what I want to do, but then now I'm actually doing something that I'm really passionate about still. And then as a job too, so it's been win. I think the most difficult thing that I had to decide was leaving the job I had back in Singapore. Like I was secure back then, but then at the same time, I just knew I have to do it. They were not happy about it because as a parent, I'm sure they want the kids to have a secure job. My dad don't really like the idea of being a chef, but mom, she actually really supportive. So yeah, at least I have support from one side, but I know he's actually proud with what I'm doing now. They came to Australia, I think 2 years ago, and then I brought him like pastry. Yeah. And it's really different when it's like freshly baked from like an actual bakery. So they're really impressed. They're like asking like, oh, how they do this and stuff like that. I still actually can't believe it that I got the big massive chance that I could be a part of. So 9th to 11th of November, we're going to France to do the World Cup. Viennoiserie World Cup is the first edition, which is really exciting. Yeah, I'm gonna represent Australia. Actually, Pierrick brought out the news to me, and then he was asking me if I'll be on board. And I'm like, are you sure it's me? But yeah, amazing that he actually believed in me, and then maybe he saw potential in me from just working in a little bakery, cooking up like a small batch of pastry, and then he tried the pastry, and then maybe he find like there is something, like there's a potential to it. No worries home now. I think that's one of the main reason as well that I agree to go. Even it must be, it's gonna be a really difficult thing. a lot of training, and I'm sure everyone else representing the cafe are like great chefs out there. So I'm just really looking forward to actually gain the experience to see how the world up there. The dream is actually, I always wanted to open up my own bakery somedays in the future. But I figure out now I just need to learn as much as I could, learn more about pastry, dessert, and everything. And then learn from Pierrick how to run the business as well. So yeah, at the moment, just learning. It's been really difficult because it's just a lot of things to do. And again, with recipe, it's not just as simple as you read the recipe, you follow it, and it's gonna turn out perfect. You still need to know like the knowledge why things happening, why things turn out that way. I'm pretty lucky because before I don't really have an actual mentor that teach me. I would do my pastry knowledge more of like a self-learning, but then now I actually work under PA, and then he shares so much knowledge that he already know for the past years. And then I actually can look up to him and then ask questions like why things didn't turn out well, rather than just trying to find out what's wrong online. So it's really helpful. It's a dream of me now to bring championship home to my people proud, like the community, my chef, Pierrick, my workmate, my parents, my friends. So yeah, I'm really excited for the journey. It's really nerve-wracking, but I'm sure it's gonna be a huge learning experience for me that I hope I could share with you guys after the championship. We need you to help life to make my dreams come true. Tolong dukungannya support us and hope we'll win